Hello Providence hockey fans, welcome to This Week in Friars Hockey. I'm Nick Ross. The Friars had a well-deserved weekend off after splitting their series with the UNH Wildcats 2 weeks ago. Now they look to get back on the ice to play the Northeastern Huskies this Friday night to stay towards the top of the hockey standings. On today's episode, Coach Leaman and Michael Callahan join the program as the team gets ready to get back on the ice. This Week in Friars Hockey starts right now. We're joined now by the head coach of the men's ice hockey team, Coach Leaman. Coach, you always talk about how you don't want to be in situations where you're chasing the game. Against UNH, you play a game where you're down 3-0, come back and tie it. The next night, you're down 1-0, you storm right back and win that one. What were some of the key differences in those two games?
Well, the key difference is up there, we scored the shift after they scored. So, we didn't have time to kind of, think about regrouping. We went out there and Parker made a heck of a play. And rifled one home, so that actually picked us up. I think that goal more than anything. But we got down 3-0. We weren't ready to play. They were definitely ready to go. We knew they were a fast starting team. They were +9 in the first period going in the series. We talked about that as a team on a couple of occasions about how our start needed to be good, and it just wasn't. But I love the way we battled back. It's just. We spent so much energy battling back that when we got it to 3-3, we just didn't have a lot in the tank to get over the hump there. So, Saturday, on a short turnaround, and we found a way to keep getting stronger throughout that game. Played a really good third period and got another big road win.
Spoke about Parker Ford in that game against UNH, that second game. 3-point weekend for him, 2-point weekend for Patrick Moynihan. How have the freshmen been able to make an impact on this team and benefit from playing with Jack and Tice?
Well, they haven't had a chance not to make an impact. I can tell you that with the freshman D and with the freshman forwards. We've needed them to be good, and we're very fortunate that they've been ready. They are, almost all of them played in the USHL last year, so they're all ready to go and they're all ready to play. And Parker has fit right into our culture. I'll tell you, Parker's 100% a Friar. He fits everything we look for in a player. He's skilled, he's fast, but he's also competitive. And so the transition hasn't been that hard for him because he kind of fits the values that we look for in a player. Moyni's a player that we thought, coming in, he was a guy that, was supposedly a complete player, and we were going to have to mold him into a more offensive role. And it's kind of been exact opposite. Everything we've seen out of him has been a high-end offensive player. I think he can score against the best goalies in college hockey without a doubt as a freshman, so we're really excited about that. And it's more about, getting him to learn the other parts of the game. So we can trust him in some higher minutes because he can score.
And Coach, you're going to have a tough opponent this weekend. You're facing a Northeastern team that's played twice in the last 20 days, both overtime games that they lost. It's going to be a hungry team Friday night, and it's a tough road challenge.
Yeah, they whooped us up there. They outcompeted us, they outworked us. It was, by score, it was our worst loss of the year. So we know we're going to have to be ready. We played a pretty good game at home. We didn't play a great game up there, so it's going to take a much better effort, much better execution also for us to go up there and win. But it's great. The league it couldn't be tighter. I've never, you say it every year that it's tight, but I've never seen it this tight. I've never seen it this tight. And, we have to emerge. We have to make sure we keep getting better. We have to play well-pressured hockey and be, the team that emerges. And that's what we're trying to do.
So Coach Michael Callahan is our guest on the show today. Sophomore defenseman. He's really improved in offensive categories this year. Assists, big number for him. But you know more than us. How has he improved as a player?
His offensive game has improved a lot. I think he moved from basically coming in to being, coming in as a freshman, being a top 4 guy, to coming in and kind of being our number 1. He leads us in minutes just about every game. Him and Spence, they're usually right there. And I think him and Spence have done an outstanding job with the young guys and leading the team. So, not enough great things to say about Michael, but the biggest improvement may be the offensive side, but I think also handling the minutes. Now the key for him is like, can you get to be the best at every situation? And that's what we talked about in our individual meeting last week. Like how do, all right, Michael, like the offensive side is coming, you've been a top 4 defender. How do you get to be the best player in all these areas of the game? Because I still think there's growth for him.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate your time. It was good to see you again, and good luck this weekend.
Got coffee, so I'm fired up.
Yeah, fired up. All right, Coach. Thank you. We're joined now by sophomore defenseman Michael Callahan. Michael, you have 20 assists entering this weekend. Last year, you only have 8. What have you seen from the blue line this year that's really helped you open up the ice and improve your offensive production?
Yeah, I don't know if I can attribute it to one thing, but I think I'm definitely more confident this year than I was last year. I think anyone as a freshman, it can be a little bit of adjustment, and then coming in this year, having played some minutes last year, I think it was just a confidence thing. And then also, when you're having assists, someone's got to be putting the puck in the net, and I think this year we have some really, highly skilled goal scorers who can do that, and I think it's just a production of what they've been able to do too. So I just try to do my best in that department.
Speak about production. The power play unit is pretty good, 4th in the country, and a lot of your assists have come on the power play unit. What has made that unit so lethal?
Yeah, we've gelled together really nicely. It's just from the start, it's just been really good, and I think everyone knows their job and does their role really well. And Jack's obviously top player in the country, and his role of moving the puck and distributing he's second to none at that. And then Tice obviously up there in goals, so he's a finisher, and his one-timer is so much better than last year, and he does his job really well too. And Patrick coming in as a freshman, having a handful of power play goals too. He's done really well. And then obviously Princey is, with his big frame, he's good at being at the net front, and his role sometimes goes underappreciated, but he's really good at that too. So it's just worked out, and we've been fairly consistent too, which is nice. So it's been good.
Now, before the season, your teammates named you a co-captain. What does that mean to you to see your teammates see you as a leader?
Yeah, it's a huge honor to start with. I honestly wasn't expecting it, and I just try to be myself, and I think around the team and on the ice, that's just what I always try to do. And just for them to see that in me when we have some really experienced guys in this team was just a huge honor. So I'm really grateful to them, but to be able to lead them, but also just to be able to wear it is a huge honor. So.
And then something nice happened for you in the month of January. You guys had a weekend off, no games. I'm sure that must have been nice. How did you and your teammates spend the time?
Yeah, it's definitely new to us. We didn't have that last year, so it was definitely a cool experience. There was obviously a big basketball game on campus with the Villanova game, so I know majority of the guys were there on Saturday, which was awesome. Getting to have that experience at the dunk, and it was absolutely packed, which was really cool. But also the NHL All-Star game was last weekend, so a lot of guys got to watch some of that stuff, which we might not have been able to do if we were playing. So it was nice to get a little break.
It is nice to get the break, kick the feet up a little bit, enjoy, but now back to work. All right, good luck the rest of the season, Mike.
Thank you.
For a preview of the matchup between the Huskies and the Friars, we send it over to Mike DeMars. Mike?
Thanks, Nick. After a 12-day layoff, the Friars will be back in action on Friday as they head to Matthews Arena to take on the Northeastern Huskies. The Huskies entered the game with a 13-7-2 overall record. Leading the attack for Northeastern is sophomore Tyler Madden. The Florida native has tallied 16 goals and 15 assists this year, good for 31 points. Last season, he registered 28 points and was named to the Hockey East All-Rookie team. Madden's father, John, played close to 900 games in the NHL and won 3 Stanley Cups. Also helping the Huskies' offense is fellow Floridian Zach Solo. The junior forward has 9 goals and 14 assists on the season. Solo notched 26 points as a freshman and followed that up with 23 points last season. This will be the deciding game in the 3-game season series for the Friars and the Huskies. That's your weekend preview. Sending it back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Mike. That'll just about wrap up today's episode. Big thank you, as always, to our guests, Coach Leaman and Michael Callahan, for joining us on the show. Voting is still open for the Hobie Baker Award. Head to hobiebaker.com/vote to vote for Tice and Jack. The Friars play the Northeastern Huskies this Friday night at 7 p.m. You can watch the game on CBS All Access or listen to it on 104.7 FM News Radio. The Friars return home next week in a home-and-home series against UMass. Get your tickets while they last. They are moving quickly. And while you're online, follow the team on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all the post pictures, updates, and more from Friartown. Thank you so much for watching This Week in Friars Hockey. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.